Everybody, this is Devin White, linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're listening to the LCC Network. Go Bucks.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Commissioner's Clubhouse and the LCC Network for the second week of 2020. Not the actual calendar second week, thank God. Or maybe it's better that we don't go further into 2020. I don't know. But anyways, this is week 2 of our fantasy season. Jameson is not here today. For those who may not know, maybe they missed it. He just had a baby on Saturday. Caroline is her name. Welcome her to the league one day, maybe. But anyway, so he's out, obviously, doing dad stuff right now. And right now, with me, I've got Cody. I almost said Jameson. Cody and relatively new to the show, Jordan. What's going on, y'all?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing great.
What's up? Good to be a part of the show.
Woo!
Shout out to Caroline.
Shout out to Caroline.
Caroline.
This is for you. Oh, man. Well, we have a couple of things to go over. I thought about possibly discussing last week's games, but I was like, well, if we did that and talk about this upcoming week's games, this would end up being like an hour show. Knowing us. So, to condense it down a little bit, we're going to start off with some news and notes from around the LCC and NFL. We're going to obviously go over game of the week in the LCC and pretty much all of our LCC week 2 predictions and maybe even some of our NFL pick'ems too if we got time for that at the end. You guys ready?
Ready.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it. Some Mad 96 theme music right there. That's throwback.
Throwback.
All right, so let's kick it off, guys. We won't dive too much into some of the news notes just because we want to save time talking about the games. I know that's what really everyone wants to hear us talk about anyways. We'll kick it off, though, with, I always screw this name up, Levitard Lobos, I'm guessing is how you pronounce it. That's Alex, by the way, rookie owner. Led the league in NFL Pick'ems. He had the most right, if you didn't see that on Twitter. Eastside Brawlers and Steel Curtain are actually tied at the moment, I believe, with 8 correct fantasy picks so far. Everyone's pretty much within 3 games, so no big deal if you're falling behind like me, who's almost in dead last. And then that leads me to the next point. Roebuck Leprechauns, myself, is already out of the survivor pool because I picked the Colts to beat the Jaguars, because who would have thought the Colts would lose to the sorry Jacksonville Jaguars, who are intentionally trying to tank right now. I hate Indianapolis. They suck. They're garbage. After screwing that up.
The only thing I have to say, though, is maybe we should start saying Indy's tanking because they only got Phillip for 1 year. So,
maybe.
They need a QB. They're shopping.
They're shopping. That's right. Another one, though, kind of OBJ, I don't know if anyone else has heard, is rumored to be on the trade block in the NFL, that is. Maybe in the LCC, I don't know. So watch out for that. Marlon Mack, unfortunately, tore his Achilles, which is never a good sign, especially for a running back in the NFL. Anyone know the timetable on that? How long he's going to be out?
On which injury?
The Achilles, Marlon Mack.
Oh, yeah, he's done for the year. It tore.
Well, I didn't know if it was going to carry further into next season too, but
I would imagine, especially a football player having a drive through contact, that's about a year recovery, and then you have to be able to take the contact again. So I'm assuming it'll be a while.
Yeah,
I think he could possibly be doing light work, and maybe he could have 5 touches in a game. You know what I'm saying, with limited time, but I wouldn't expect him to be full strength till probably mid-season.
That's sad. Definitely a good athlete too. Mafali Moneymakers, Mufasa Moneymakers, and that's Mafali if you didn't know. Abusement Park, that's Peyton, and Burrow's Body Count, that's Zach, are all actively searching for trades, along with Daquan recently as well. So if you're on the market for a player, they didn't really specify exactly what they're trying to get or who they're wanting, but definitely reach out to them. They've got players in the block. And then last up, we've got Michael Thomas with the ankle sprain. Is it worse than expected? We'll have to see. I actually watched that game live, and I remember seeing him limp off the field in the corner of the camera, and I was thinking, that's weird. I didn't think anything of it, though. Have you guys heard any more news than that or anything?
I did hear that it was a little worse than originally expected, so he could miss a few more weeks than they thought. But I watched the game too, and man, live action, like it didn't even look like he rolled it all that bad.
No, not at all.
I heard him.
Yeah, I was hearing 3 to 5 games.
Oof.
Which that's a chunk of a fantasy season.
Yeah, that is. There's not a ton of wide receiver depth out there. I mean, your best bet, honestly, maybe even look at some tight ends. But yeah, that's some of the larger news circulating around both leagues at the moment. Do you guys have anything other to comment before we move on to our game of the week?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and kick it off. Let's move it on over.
Let's talk about this game of the week.
Let's do it. All right. So, game of the week, if you didn't know, it's between Mr. 300 Colby, who's 1-0, versus Matt the Crazy Legs, who's also 1-0. This is actually a rematch of a former Little Critter Bowl. I'm trying to remember exactly which one it was. Yeah, it's not. I can't even think right now. They've definitely met in the playoffs a couple of times too, I feel like, over the years. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't even remember what year that was. But
I know.
It's the Critter Bowl rematch.
Yeah. Both guys have been in the league since day one, since 2010, going on 11 seasons in the year. Both of them have stud linebackers between Darius Leonard and Jalen Smith. I mean, I know that they probably didn't get the production they were looking for in week one, but I really do think COVID has impacted everything more than people really realize. I mean, no preseason. That plays a big impact in this. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think so too, man. Like you see who's just I feel like the younger players are playing well because they're just running out there playing football and they didn't have too much time to think anyways. And these veterans are still trying to get their feet underneath them and trying not to pull anything, I guess you would say, like the old man stretch routine. Like, but yeah.
I mean, for me, I think it's more like you see a lot of the defensive players struggling more than the offensive players. I think without all these preseason games for these guys to get kind of acclimated, people are missing tackles, people are getting caught out of position, taking terrible angles. Like, I just think it's really affected the defense more than anything.
Yeah, it definitely has. I mean, I think I mentioned in the chat, like literally almost every player, maybe for the besides the exception of maybe quarterback, like almost every top 12 player of their position fell significantly below top 12 in week one. It really like shook things up. I mean, we're going to see guys who dominated week one who you may not even hear about ever again the rest of the season and vice versa. Guys who struggled and by week 2, week 3, maybe week 4, they're, averaging like 30 points a game.
Yeah.
So let's go through this matchup, guys. I mean, Colby on one hand, Big Ben, Matt, Daniel Jones. I mean, we can start there. The quarterback battle. Daniel Jones playing against Chicago. Big Ben playing against the Broncos. Who are you giving the edge to there?
Big Ben, the veteran, and the way I saw him play last night, you only think he's going to get better with the more reps that he's getting underneath his belt coming off that injury.
Yeah, I agree. I was not impressed by Daniel Jones or anything in New York last night. That was actually a pretty boring game to watch, in my opinion. It was close for the most part, but I was not impressed by what I saw there.
I contribute that a lot to Pittsburgh's front seven, which I think is, if it's not the number one front seven in the league, it's just behind the 49ers just because they have a ton of depth. But, that offensive line got wrecked, and I really don't blame him for that. But they're not going to be facing those type of guys week in and week out like that. Those are some animals right there.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give the edge, too, to Big Ben. I mean, I like the matchup a little bit better against the Broncos versus Daniel Jones playing It's the Bears in Chicago. Next up, though, we have Le'Veon Bell, who I know is injured, playing against the 49ers in Colby's lineup, and Chris Carson in Matt's lineup of running back. Who you guys giving the edge to there?
Well, assuming that it's going to be Kerryon Johnson and not Le'Veon, obviously, because Le'Veon just went to IR. I mean, obviously it's Matt. I really like Matt's I like Matt's running backs as a whole. I wouldn't even be upset if Matt went too deep at running back with Chris Carson and Mostert, and I like both of those better than what Colby's got sitting there.
That was my thoughts exactly. Even if Le'Veon Bell was healthy, I was going to pick Chris Carson.
Oh, yeah. Chris Carson had a really nice game one, too. Same thing with Mostert.
Yeah, I'll say Chris Carson as well. The Seahawks offense was humming. Once Russell gets it going, it opens it up for those backs, and I just see him having a strong season, especially touchdown-wise.
Matt's one of two guys that I realistically am starting to see that has two number one RBs.
Yeah, it's looking that way the further we get into the season. Next up, we got Tyreek Hill, Julian Edelman. Who are you taking there?
It's got to be Tyreek. He's too big play. Yeah, he's a big play guy. You can't keep him down for long. He may not have been the greatest in week one, but you can't expect that to hold.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought. I'm going to give the edge there to Colby.
One of the few guys that can go 90 any given time.
Yeah, for real.
Yards, that is.
So Dante Fowler for Colby exploded in week one. And he's going against Aaron Donald for Matt, who's playing against the Eagles this week. Do you guys have a preference by either one? Obviously, one guy's got more stability than the other, but the explosiveness you cannot ignore.
I personally, I like Matt in the defensive line area. I don't mind Dante Fowler, but in terms of, I just think that Aaron Donald's a proven guy, and then even going into Matt's bench, I personally just watching Dupree play last night. He looks like he's a man on a mission, and he looks like he's already in midseason form. And so I even like Dupree better than I like Fowler.
Okay. What about you, Jordan?
I like Aaron against Philly, mostly because Philly and their offensive line's hot garbage. But
yeah. I'm kind of with you there.
Whether he's double teamed or not, it's Aaron Donald. He's gonna break through for a sack or two. I feel like.
Yeah, he will. I mean, Dallas actually has a respectable offensive line, and they've had one for several years now. I'm going to give the edge to Aaron Donald. So this is the more interesting matchup. We've got Darius Leonard versus Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith playing against Atlanta, who's going to be spreading the ball out. Darius Leonard's playing against the Vikings, who we saw last week. They threw the ball 3 times in the entire first half. And that tells you anything on how they're running their offense this season. Who are you guys picking in that?
Man, I think I like Colby just because he's too deep there. He's literally got 2 top 5 guys.
Yeah, I don't deny that. I think Darius Leonard is, if anything, he's going to cancel out whatever Jalen Smith does. If not, do even better.
Yeah. Matt's got the best linebacker. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, when you're sitting there with those 2 backers, and either one of those could literally put up what Darius Leonard puts up, it's just, I don't know. I like Colby in that area.
Yeah, I like it. I definitely feel like Darius is probably going to put up the most points out of the 3 linebackers. But like y'all were saying, once you pair up 2 of them, man, it's almost impossible some weeks. Some guys are just slated for 10 tackles, and that's 40 points by itself.
Yeah. All right, so let's go over here and look at the flex player, which I think we can all agree here is Juan Thornhill versus Bobby Wagner. No one's going to pick Juan Thornhill to win that matchup. I think we can all say Bobby's going to win that for Colby. And then last up, at defensive back, we got Jesse Bates for Colby versus Jonathan Abraham, who had an excellent game against Carolina for Matt. Who are you picking there?
It's not even close. It's Abraham. That guy was all over the place.
Yeah, I'm a huge Jonathan Abram fan, and I was disappointed when he got hurt last season, and he just picked up right where he left off. If anybody remembers watching the Raiders on Hard Knocks, before he got hurt, man, even in practice, it looked like he was trying to kill teammates.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
And my thing with him is the fact that Matt got him in the waiver wire draft, and
Off-season waiver.
yeah, that could possibly turn out to be one of the best waiver wire picks out there.
Yeah, it literally could. I think that was, at the time, I was like, well, that was a good pick, but I don't think I realized he'd be putting up that kind of points in week 1.
Yeah, if you remember right, we were talking about him. He went after Keanu Neal.
Yeah.
And we were talking about what was going to be really good with that. Like, who was going to be better, and there was kind of maybe some mixed feelings about it. But, I mean, after the first week, it's really looking like Abraham is going to be one of those elite guys up there with who's with the Seahawks now?
Jamal Adams.
Yeah. I couldn't even think about it. They got like 3 really good safeties, though, Seahawks right now.
So, with that said, I think player versus player, we gave the edge slightly to Colby in that. Who are you guys picking, though, to win the game between the two of them?
I'm picking Matt just purely based off the fact that, like, Colby has nobody at running back. He's going to have to make a move in free agency to really, like, separate that gap.
Yeah, I'm going to, I guess, run with the upset in that, and I'm going to take Colby. I'm going to count on him to patch together something at running back. And I just feel both the linebackers and Tyreek Hill can be in store for a pretty big day, so I'm thinking that might carry him.
Yeah, I'm going to, right now, take it for what it is. I swear it's never right. But it's picking Colby to win 193 versus 192 to Matt. So they're calling for it to be a good game, and I kind of expect the same. I'm with you, Cody, though. I just think the running back issue for Colby is glaring. I mean, you cannot ignore the fact that Kerryon Johnson is now his RB1. He's going to have to – I don't even think he can fill that role in free agency. He's going to have to go trade. That's the only way he's going to have a respectable running back the rest of the season, because you can't stream – in this kind of environment that we have where it's 24 teams, 1-player pool. You're not going to be able to do that sustainably and win games. So I think he's really going to have to go out there and trade to get one.
I mean, there's a couple of names out there that I think are better options than what he's got in, like, free agency. Like, I think Benny Snell, if Connor's going to miss any significant time, or what he did in that game creates more carries for him, I think Benny Snell might be a little bit better of a stream than maybe a carry-on. And then who else? Malcolm Brown sitting out there as well. And it looks like he's going to get the bulk of the carries, especially inside the goal line. So I mean, there's some options out there. There's not a lot. There's no sexy options, and maybe a trade is the way he needs to go. But
definitely a few options I feel like can outperform carry-on.
Yeah, what he's got now definitely isn't cutting the cake.
All right, so let's move on from our game of the week. Let's dive into some other matchups. We'll try not to take too much time. We're already like almost 19 minutes into the show at this point. But we'll start it off here with Michael, which is not Michael, listen to me. Charles, the third leg versus Daquan, primetime players. Both have been in the league a while. Daquan coming off a little critical appearance last season and just came off a big win against Cameron to get revenge from that loss he took at the end of last year. So this is a game, obviously, guys, where one team's 1-0, but I feel like, me personally, Daquan kind of got the luck of the draw in some cases, but I don't know. I really do like Charles' team this year, even though he didn't perform probably the way he was wanting to in week 1.
Me personally, like, I'm going to pick Daquan. The only thing that I have a problem with Charles is Minka's probably only going to get a big day if he makes a big play. Like, he's not going to be sitting in the box much. He's playing a lot of the deep safety. So, like, I don't like him as much unless he makes an interception or something. I'm not huge on his linebacker. I kind of like Quan Alexander a little bit better. I think obviously Matt Ryan's a little better. I think that's where it's going to be. If Connor Minshew struggles, then Charles has got an opportunity to win this game with a big day for Matt Ryan. But if Connor Minshew has the same type of game he had last week, I think this is Daquan's. Therefore, I'm going to go with Daquan because I believe in the Minshew mania. So let's do it. I got Daquan on this one.
What about you, Jordan?
I think I'll go Daquan too, and I think it'll be a lot closer though. I think Minshew may struggle a little with Tennessee, like that pass rush can get off sometimes. But I'm going to say Daquan's led by Hopkins and Watt, and I'm going to make a little bold, more specific prediction. We'll go our Panthers, and I'm going to say Jeremy Chin has a big day against Tampa, whether pick off Brady, I don't know, somewhere along those lines to have a huge day for Daquan and for the Panthers.
Okay. I'm going to go with Charles in this. I like Matt Ryan's matchup against the Cowboys. I think he's going to have a great game. I think Saquon against the Bears, he's going to rebound. There's no way he has that kind of performance again. And Stephon Diggs, I think, will have a good day against Miami. I'm going to give the edge to Charles in that. The line right now is in favor of Charles. It's got 188. It's got Daquan 167. But again, take that with a grain of salt because I think we all know how messed up those projections can be. So next up, we got Hunter of Champions. Obviously, that's Hunter versus the Mufasa Moneymakers, Mufali. This is kind of a rivalry game as we know it. Formerly in the Top Shot is now in Conference A for the moment until we come up with a better name. Who are you guys taking in this?
I'm going to go with Hunter in this one.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to thump him pretty good, especially with Steve's running back situation and Michael Thomas definitely being out. I just think Hunter might whop him on that one.
Yeah, I think Mufali's going to get slapped around in this one. And its projections are showing that. It's got Hunter 191 to 167. And it has nothing to do with Hunter just being head over heels better at fantasy football or anything. It's really, like you said, I mean, losing Michael Thomas, that is devastating. In any fantasy league you're in, that's going to hurt. And his backup is Henry Ruggs. Sure, he was very flashy against Carolina, but can he do that against a better defense like the Saints? I don't know. So I'm going to go with Hunter in that matchup too.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Hunter as well, especially when you got a Lamar Jackson. If you can get the same production out of David Johnson like he did last week, then I think he's definitely in a nice little boat.
Cool. So next up, we've got She's the Man. That is Maria versus Hash Slinging Slashers. Oh, I don't have a sound drop. Mondo, who guys picking in this one?
This one's a good matchup. I'm probably going to go Mondo. It's tough because James Conner's not playing. You know what? I'm not, actually. I'm going to go with Maria. I like Drew Brees versus the Rams. I think Maria's got a nice defensive front. I think Devin Bush is solid linebacker paired with Christian Kirksey. I like Maria in this overall. I think what hurts me right now is the fact that the running back is kind of a question mark right now for Mondo. Yeah, and then if Tremaine Edmonds doesn't play, it says his injury is not too serious, but we'll see what happens in there. Yeah, I'm going to go with Maria.
Yeah,
I'm also going to go with Maria. I'm going to say she's led by her New Orleans Saints, and Devin Bush has a big day. Maria.
Yeah, I am too. Besides, the only thing I don't like about her lineup at the moment is the J.J. Watt versus the Ravens. I don't know. Lamar Jackson can be tough to sack at times. We'll see though.
She's gonna need like a turnover or a couple of J.J. swats.
Yeah.
The only thing good about J.J. Watt though is they're going to be running the ball a lot, so it's
That's
probably
true.
Run it right at J.J. So maybe he can rack up the tackles.
Yeah. I think he definitely has the potential to have a great game. I'm going to pick her to I almost said the game. The website's picking her to win 173 to 165 at the moment. Our next matchup, we got BP Beg for G-Reg versus Sunday Fun Day. That is Team Brandon. Who Jimmy G versus Ryan Tannehill. Who would have thought those guys would ever be playing each other in fantasy football or real football? I don't know, but who are you guys picking in this matchup?
I'm probably going to go back for G-Reg. I just like his overall starting lineup, especially when, man, it sucks because Leighton just can't catch a break, can he?
No.
But I just like his team overall better. I just think he's a lot better at a lot more positions. Like, even some of Brandon's, like, better players, I think, is this BP?
Yeah, BP is back for G-Reg.
Yeah. So I think BP, even in some of Brandon's like better areas, I think BP ends up having better players in those areas. So I'm going BP by a lot, honestly. I could see BP winning this by 30.
Yeah, I'm going with Big for G-Rig.
Yeah, I think that the big thing for me is Ryan Tannehill is a solid. I mean, Jimmy G actually had a decent game last week, so I really can't throw any shade his way. And he's playing against the Jets. I'm going with Beg for G-Reg, though, like you guys are. I think he's going to win it. The website's saying 186 to 168. So I think that's within, reasonable margin for an upset, but still, I'm going with BP.
Jimmy G, too, who's he throwing the ball to right now?
Yeah.
Even Kittle got hurt last week.
They're in a rough spot.
Yeah.
I think Brandon Ayuk's coming back.
All right, so Detroit Bad Boys Billy versus Abusement Park. That's Peyton. This is a rivalry game from the LCC, the Elite 12. Like rewind just a year ago, back when the conferences were a little bit different, along with the league. Guys, this is a good matchup. Honestly, this one could have been picked for Game of the Week too, because they mirror each other in a lot of ways. Besides maybe the flex player. Basically, the only difference of flex is you got Logan Ryan at the moment versus like CEH. And I think everyone and their mom's going to pick CEH between that matchup. But I think this could be a great game.
Yeah. And this is one of those areas, the complete opposite of what I was just saying, in terms of like they're kind of good in opposite ways, in my opinion. For me, like, because he's got Baker, which I don't think anybody's really impressed with what Baker's going to do. But then a lot of people should be impressed with what Josh Allen's going to do, especially rushing. He's like your poor man's Lamar Jackson right now.
Yeah.
But it's just so hard to go against what Billy's got at running back, man, especially what you saw from Clyde Edwards-Helaire last week. I'm probably going to go Billy here just based off of running backs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel about the same. It's really close matchup. I think the backs are the only thing that gives them the edge. I hate Baker Mayfield. Don't really like Allen Robinson because Trubisky's a turd. But overall, I think those running backs will carry him. But he does have to be careful of Josh Allen, like y'all said, Caucasian Cam, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
No, I agree. I think if Peyton wins, this is how he wins. It's basically Josh Allen has an explosive game where Baker Mayfield gets like 28 points. Because that explosive game can make up the point differential between CEH and Logan Ryan, if that's truly going to be his flex. Maybe he changes his mind and goes a different route. But at the moment, that's who he's got.
Do it.
Yeah. I'm going Billy, though, in this game, by the way. But the website has it the other way around. They're picking Peyton to win 197. That's the highest projection of any team, I think, this week at the moment. And Billy has 187. All right. Oh, man, let me get the sound drop for this one. This is a classic. We've got
Let's go.
And I don't have Storm's sound drop. Oh, I messed that up. But you're playing against Vegetarians. That's Storm. Cam Newton versus Drew Lock. You couldn't be any more different in those two guys. But, man, I think, honestly, Storm's team came out better than I thought it would. And the projections are pretty wild for him this week. What are your thoughts on this?
Delights by 100. I'll let you guys take this one.
My only problem with with Storm's team right now is he's got to find a reliable linebacker, and until that happens, I'm gonna have to go with Jordan.
Yeah, I'm with you. That he's got Leonard Fournette in his lineup. He'll probably change it to Kareem Hunt after that game he had last week. I would hope so, at least. Even though it is against the Panthers, and we've been proven that we can be gashed on any given run play. So I'm going to give it to you, Jordan, though. I really do just think your team overall is better. Even though the projections have you losing by a lot, it's projecting Storm to win 190 to 164.
Yeah.
Yeah. That about sums that up.
Like,
The other matchup we got myself, Rode by Leprechauns versus Eastside Brawlers. That's my dad. I don't really. I'm kind of like you, Jordan. I don't really want to talk about my own matchups. I don't want to jinx it. First of all, what are your thoughts? What are your guys' thoughts on it, though?
well, you always got to like Deshaun. Baltimore's defense isn't like quite Baltimore's defense of the years past. So I feel like really mobile guys can still get off on them. So I expect that from Deshaun. Really huge fan of Josh Jacobs this year. Heck, I think I texted you today asking you what it would take to get Chase Young off you.
Yeah.
So I really like your team. Brady could always go off against Carolina. We're just so young, especially in that secondary.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're not going to be ones that are running shotgun in the fourth quarter, running up Brady's stats. You know what I mean? They got long-term goals. But, so I'm going to go with you, and it's going to be the three I mentioned that I think carry the way.
Yeah, I like you as well, Patrick. I like your offense a lot better than your dad's, which is kind of weird because I like your dad's defense.
Isn't that weird? Yeah, I know. We're usually built complete opposite. He has a great offense, I have a great defense. So.
I mean, and I think you've got a really good defense. See, I just think you're a lot more balanced than he is. Like, you know, you have a good offense, but even your defense not that bad. You're not the greatest at linebacker, but you don't have terrible options either. And I like Danny Trevathan. He can always have nice games, especially sitting behind that D-line that Chicago's got. And then if Chase Young continues to do what he did, holy moly, like you hit the gold on that one.
Yeah, we'll see. At the time, I felt like I overpaid for him. So hopefully he does end up being pretty good because I gave up like a 5th-round pick, I think, for him.
I think that's right on money in this very, very small sample size.
Yeah. I'm going to go, you know what? Just because I win either way, right? I'm actually going to pick my dad in this because that way, if he wins, then I can say, oh, I was right. I got something right. I'll take that. So I want to pick my dad to win. The website has me winning 182 to 143. He's got, I think, the lowest projected score of anyone in the league at the moment, but we'll see how that looks. I mean, Philip Lindsay's in the starting lineup. I'm sure he'll probably change it up if Miles Sanders is starting, which will increase it by at least 10 more points. Next up, though, we got a big rivalry game. We got the Slapdicks, that's Big Us, versus the Spurs. That's Cameron, who's reigning champion and relatively recently a Hall of Fame owner. So what are your guys' thoughts on this? I mean, this is actually a really good matchup. Cameron's team didn't do great last week, but I think he still has the talent, though, to turn it around.
Well, first of all, I just want to say it. Slapdicks. It might be the funnest team name to say in the league. But,
Yeah.
Vegetarians is pretty fun.
Yeah, but
Mike was fun.
I think I'm going to roll with the Slapdicks myself. Russell looks like he's on pace for MVP if he continues, like having one of those big years. I like that. Devontae Adams, I like that just because Cameron has Aaron Rodgers, so I feel like Devontae can cut into some of Aaron's points, which would be nice. So, Slapdicks.
I mean, you're talking about two of the best-looking quarterbacks maybe in that first, week with Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers.
Like Aaron didn't look like the man either.
Yeah, like both of those guys literally just asserted themselves into that MVP conversation real quick.
Yeah.
I honestly think that QB will be a wash. What hurts me is Mark Ingram right now, and Derrick Henry's going against Jacksonville. I mean, Jacksonville did just get a win, but I'm not too sure about that defensive front, that front seven. I don't think Schobert can be everywhere on the field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna go with your brother in this one, but go slap dicks and Cameron, you suck.
You already said. Well, I'm going to go. The projections, actually, I lied to you guys. Cameron has the highest projections at this point. He's projected 209. Big Oss is projected 190. So this is going to be a very high scoring game. I'm going to go with Cameron, though. I think the running back is the X factor in this game. Is Derrick Henry at the moment versus Mark Ingram. That's a night and day difference. I think Derrick Henry is going to have a big game against Jacksonville in Tennessee. So I'm going to go Cameron in this, but I think it is going to be relatively close. So
I would switch my pick if he put Chark in.
Oh yeah, that's the difference maker right there. So this one, Cody, we're about to talk about you now. Steel Curtain versus Michael, Team Michael. That's obviously Michael if you didn't know, but I don't know, man. I mean, Michael has a decent team, but Cody, your team had a good week last week, and you've got some good players there. A young stud, Kenneth Murray. You got Deion Jones as well. Bose is playing against the Jets. He should have a great game. I don't know, man. And Austin Eckler, to me, he looked pretty good, but I didn't see the numbers to justify the pick that was given up for him. I'm going to go with you in that matchup.
I mean, I just like me based off the fact that I don't think Michael's got a linebacker right now that's worth anything too much. I know he's gonna be hitting the waiver wire up. He's already talked to me a little bit about it, but man, I like myself. You know, who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
But yeah, I'm picking me.
What about you, Jordan?
I'm gonna go slight edge, Cody. But I don't like Cody's receivers, but it is what it is. After seeing Zeke, he's gonna be a hoss every single week. But you never know. I don't know if Michael might try to fit Emmanuel Sanders into a starting lineup with Michael Thomas being out. That could be a theory, but so far I'd go slight Cody.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Cody too. I think the fact that his flex player is a defensive lineman, I've never a fan of that in any fantasy league. I'm going to give it to Cody in this. So our second to last matchup, we got Burrow's body count. That's Zach versus Lapetard Lobos. That's Alex. Both are rookie GMs in the league. One is coming off a win. One's coming off a loss. The name speaks for itself. Joe Burrow versus Phillip Rivers. Totally opposite players, opposite personalities.
Ooh.
Sorry about that.
I was about to say, did Miami win or?
That was my dog.
That was a dog.
Oh, okay. I thought that was one of you guys.
No, Miami did win though.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah. Suck it, Mafali.
Suck my folly. All right, who are you guys picking though between Alex and Zach in this game?
Honestly, it's not so bad now with Burrow's body count. Like, Joe Burrow played a game and he didn't look bad at all. And he's going against Cleveland, so I think he'll have a decent game as well. Man, this is a tough one because I tell you what, I thought Alex had one of the worst drafts and one of the worst teams, and boy, did he just put up some points last week. So yeah. I guess I got to give him a little bit of a break. And you know what? I'm just going to go with Alex in this.
Okay. What about you, Jordan?
Man, I'm sitting here looking at the rosters, and I don't know. I don't really like any of them, but I'm going to go with the Lobos in a slight one. Most of the reason is I usually don't like quarterbacks playing on a Thursday night.
Yeah, especially a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, it's his first time. Granted, he doesn't have the crowd to contend with like a normal debut would be. But Thursday games just scare me, and so far he's got 2 in his lineup.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you in that. I'm going Alex. I know the running back situation definitely scares me, and if there's a reason why Libertad Lobos lose this matchup, it's because of the running back situation. But at the same time, I mean, I'll say it. I thought he got him off waiver wire free agency, but he actually got him in the draft, I'm guessing. Alexander Johnson, linebacker from University of Tennessee, playing for Denver now in the NFL. Man, did he have a debut last week. And the matchup against Pittsburgh, I think, is relatively favorable, too. I'm going to go with Alex in this matchup.
Yeah, that was a heck of a pickup. If that's any indication how that guy's going to perform. Ooh.
Yeah. And by the way, the website has actually Zach winning this 174 to 173. So the last game here, I know we've talked everyone's ear off at this point, going on like 40 minutes now. We've got Give Me More Jameson versus Dirty Mike and the Boys. That's Mike, obviously. I think Mike had a respectable game last week, whereas Jameson, on the other hand, his team didn't live up to, I think, what it was capable of in week 1. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. To me, it's another case of Joe Mixon probably getting off to a slow start like he did last season, because it really took him a minute to really get off. And he's like one of those guys that propelled your brother to a championship. But he's going against Cleveland, and I don't know. I like him versus Cleveland, Joe Mixon. And, I'm just going to give this to Jameson because he's got that baby power. You know what I'm saying?
Baby powder.
He's feeling good. He's feeling lucky. So I'm going to go with Jameson just based off he had a baby.
This one's for Caroline.
This one's for Caroline.
He's not going to lose the rest of the season now. We better all watch out.
For real.
Somebody quick, have a baby.
Jordan, who are you picking?
Yeah, I'll roll with Jameson.
Okay.
Hopefully he's just having a good overall week and
from what
he's come to perform.
from what I've heard, he's pretty sleep deprived at the moment. So I'm sure he would definitely love this win. I'm going to give it to Jameson, though. Honestly, I think Kyler Murray is going to have a head over heels better game than Jared Goff will this week. And there's some other players in there that I like. The flex player, the linebacker position I like more. I love Myles Garrett against the Bengals Thursday night. I think Myles Garrett's going to come away with a couple big plays against Joe Burrow. That's who I'm going to pick in this matchup. Cool. Well, it's been like 40 minutes, guys, and I don't know if we have time to really go through our NFL pick'ems this week. Make sure you guys get them in. If you are participating, and again, you want to get some money involved, definitely send that over to Jameson. If you need his PayPal email, I can send that to you through GroupMe or whatever, text message, whatever works for you. But yeah, anything you guys got before we get off the show?
No, nothing to add. You guys enjoy every second of this 40-minute podcast.
Yeah. Congrats, Jameson, by the way.
Yeah,
I didn't say it at the beginning.
Yeah, congrats, Jameson, and best of luck to everyone in week 2. We'll see you guys later.
All right. Been a pleasure.
Peace.